SPD. It's a Scott Sands Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. Also find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the places at Scott Sands. Interesting show today. We've talked about the economy a lot. We've talked with Governor Mike DeWine. And now we're going to talk about OnlyFans and adult entertainment and a fascinating story. Nadia Hilton is joining us now. We're on Zoom, so I'm not at all distracted by the video, Nadia. It's great to meet you. Great to have you on the show.
Great to be here.
So your story is interesting, and we've talked. This all came up because we were talking a few weeks ago about OnlyFans and how they were running so many content creators potentially out of the business because they wanted to be accepted on more platforms and be able to deal with banks and many financial institutions and investors didn't want to have adult entertainment in their portfolio. And that's when I was talking with Nicole Mitchell, and you and I connected on social media, and you had a great story to share. So we wanted to talk with you about that. All the OnlyFans stuff, just to get that out of the way, seems to have calmed down a lot. And it seems like it's business as usual now on OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, I wonder if it was like a advertising strategy because now everybody knows about OnlyFans.
Well, and mine is not getting a lot of subscriptions. A lot of people don't want to pay $5 a month for a short, fat white guy.
Hey, you never know.
That's true. There could be a niche for everything, and I understand dad bods are hot right now.
They are. I got, my husband's got a dad bod, so I shoot with him all the time.
so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that and what you're doing. And you've been in the adult entertainment industry for how long now?
Oh God. I started when I was 22, so I'm 37 now.
So a while, and the industry has changed dramatically, in part because of the internet, and in part because of crowdsourcing sites like OnlyFans. But you were doing the porn movies, and you left that industry for a while, and you became a pastor. I mean, you could not have a more dramatic change in your life and career path than that.
I went literally from like one extreme to the next, and then kind of now where I'm at now, I'm like right in the middle. It's like I'm being who I want to be, and I'm not being controlled by anything. I'm not being controlled by an agent. I'm not being controlled by a church. I'm being controlled by me.
Was there anything that spurred your career change into becoming a pastor? I mean, were you born again? Did you have a life-changing moment or anything?
Oh yeah, I absolutely had this whole transformation that happened. And then I literally just wanted to learn all I could learn about God. And, obviously I'm still learning. It's, that's a lifelong relationship. But I wanted to help people during their past, and people that were struggling with the same things that I was struggling with, whether or not, God's going to accept me for who I am, or if I'm going to hell and stuff like that. So, and now it's like, I know that God loved me for who I am. It doesn't matter what I end up doing in my lifetime, because we all sin. So, it's, and what exactly is sin? I don't think anybody really can categorize all these different things. It's like, I think going to heaven is a matter of the heart. If you're a good person at heart, you're going to go to heaven. If you are some evil, POS, then you know where you're going.
Right. Do you think that you were committing sins when you were doing the porn films, the adult entertainment before?
Not when I'm not hurting anybody. That's how I look at it. I look at, okay, you know what? You got to look at it like this, like animals. Animals go and they have sex with many different creatures, like, birds will have sex with a million other different birds. But, is that really considered a sin in God's eyes when God has created us all? And everybody talks about how animals are, are God's creation. So if animals can do it, we are animals too as humans. So I don't think it's a sin.
And there's a lot of, depending on which point of view you want to present, there are a lot of conflicting views from the Bible. I mean, obviously God created us and gave us that gift of sex, but also intended it for procreation and not pleasure. At least in some faiths, that's the teaching, is that you're only to engage in sexual activity for procreation purposes, not for pleasure, which seems like an awful waste of sex to me.
Right. And, it's like, there's a scripture in the Bible where it says the bed is undefiled. So it's like, there's so many different ways to look at one scripture. And it's like, and then you also have to consider this too. The Bible has been rewritten a million different times, So nowadays, just imagine if the Bible was written now, like back then, women weren't allowed to vote, had no voices, nothing. And now it's like, okay, now we're more of an equal standing with men. So it's like, if the Bible was written now, what would it be like?
Much different. much
exactly.
different. We're on Zoom right now on the Scott Sand Show with Nadia Hilton. You can look her up on OnlyFans and find her social media platforms as well. What was the reception you got from the faith community when you became a pastor, when you converted and turned to Christianity? How were you received?
I had good and bad. There are people that were out there that were, would smile in my face and then talk behind my back. And then I had people that were just opening arms and loving. And then being in the whole Christian world, I saw how much like people would be like, oh yeah, we want you in our church. And we want this and we want that for you. But then, as soon as you're like in their group and hanging out with them, it's like they totally like treat you differently and they shun you. And it's not all church people, it's just, there are certain groups of people that you have to live a certain standard. And if not, you're going to hell. If you cut your hair, you're going to hell. If you wear makeup, you're going to hell. If a woman wears pants, you're going to hell. Like it's a very judgmental way of living. And I saw myself going down that path and I didn't want to be down that path. So I stepped away.
You felt yourself becoming hypocritical in that way and judging others?
Yeah. And, my whole views of life were different. It was like, now it's like these, almost like high school. It's like these little cliques that they have in church. And it's like, I saw myself going down a path that I didn't like, and I didn't think was healthy mentally for me or for other people, because what I was doing was trying to help people and, open up their relationship with God, not bring them into church and then have the people around them judge them for their sins because they know of their sins, whether it was in the news or, somebody got arrested for a DWI or something. Now, oh my God, they're an alcoholic. It was just a horrible situation that I saw. And I just wanted people to come, just love each other and be there for God and your relationship with God.
How do you think it was because you were ministering in a smaller town? Because small towns love to get in everybody's business. Did people know? Did people know what you were doing before? I mean, with Google, it's hard. Somebody new comes into a community, they're going to Google you, right? And if you're there, by the way, if you're going to Google Nadia Hilton, don't do it from your work PC or you might get in trouble. Wait until you get home tonight to Google Nadia that way. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, did people know you were a pastor? Did they know your background? Did you tell people? Did you tell your story?
Everybody knew because, like they saw me on the news. They saw me on, like I had did stories for ABC News Nightline. I was like basically doing interviews all over the world when it first came out. So, I mean, there wasn't one person I think I met where they didn't know who I was. And a lot of times people came to my church that I was pastoring just because of who I am. They knew that no matter about their past, they're going to, come in and not be judged by me.
Yeah, I think I would probably give church another try if I knew that you were the pastor there. We're talking with Nadia Hilton. We're on Zoom, by the way. Right? Yeah, nothing happens. It's fine. So here's the other twist in this story, Nadia, is that you left the adult entertainment world, you became a pastor, and now you're back essentially doing adult entertainment again. Now it's not exactly the same. If you look at some of your past movies, which I have done just purely for research purposes, obviously, there's a difference in what you used to do and what you're doing now on OnlyFans, correct?
Yeah, I mean, before I had an agent and I was shooting for, Vivid, Hustler, Club Jenna, Wicked, stuff like that. Now it's, I'm only shooting with my husband. I only shoot boy girl content with my husband. I do take pictures with somebody else, like another girl, my friend Cass. So I take pictures with her and stuff. But I mean, as far as right now, I only shoot with him and I can control who I shoot with. Like back then, it was like, okay, Nadia, you're contracted with Hustler and you're shooting with this guy and this is what your scene's going to be. And so now it's like, different. I'm in control of it, and nobody can tell me what to do.
Did your husband, how long have you been married?
Almost 2 years now.
So did he obviously knew what you did, knew your background?
Yeah.
I mean, did it take a lot of convincing for him to now be a part of your OnlyFans content?
No, not really. I mean, we went to high school together, so we've known each other our whole lives. And he's, he's okay with it because I include him, and he actually is like managing some of it. He'll send out like my content and stuff like that. But I answer all my own messages, and if somebody requests a video or something, then they're talking to me directly.
And that's one of the unique things about OnlyFans too, is that the members, the subscribers can get involved and correspond, can communicate with you directly as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the other part of that I was asking about for your husband is, sure, I might watch from time. I don't know that I want to be seen and judged by others. I don't know how good I am. I don't know that I want people watching and judging me either.
Well, they don't see too much of them. It's just kind of one area.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Or man, that scene was really fast. That's not the type of pressure that I need in my life right now, Nadia. I'm already judged enough on things. So yeah. Any idea how many subscribers you've got?
No, it changes daily. I mean, it's, subscribing, it's like you'll have like these jumps that go up and down, up and down. It all depends on if they have their rebill on or not. And then if they don't, they end up coming back on too. So
your main source of income now?
No, I do other things too. I have other businesses.
Nadia Hilton on OnlyFans, if you want to look her up, and when I post this Zoom interview, I'll include a link to the OnlyFans for you as well, Nadia, as well as to all of your social media platforms. What's the big misconception about the adult entertainment industry and the dangers, the perils that it can present? Because you've been there, if it wasn't toxic, you may still be doing.
I think the big misconception about porn and porn stars in general is the fact that they think that, okay, because she's a porn star, she'll sleep with anybody and she'll, do anything. That's like, when I was in porn, most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, I was only having sex on film. Like it's just, it becomes your job. So you don't want to have sex outside your job. But that I think is a huge misconception about it.
Would you?
Sorry. And the big thing about OnlyFans too is so many people ask for escorting, and it's like, that is not something I do, and I don't think a lot of girls do, but a lot of people assume that people on OnlyFans are escorting.
Do you think? I think in many ways, and I've talked about this before, OnlyFans and sites like that, and they're popping up now, is really, and this is a weird way to put it, democratize the adult entertainment industry. It's freed many women and men who are in the adult entertainment industry from having those agents, those managers, that can be leeches and people, companies that might be putting you into dangerous situations. You get to control your own career now and keep all the money that you're earning, and that's a powerful, freeing, I'm sure, move for someone to make in the business.
Yeah, it definitely absolutely is. I mean, there is good things about having an agent too. I mean, back when I was in the industry, everybody that I shot with was tested, went through the whole adult industry medical, and, every 25 days you're getting tested for everything. So I like that. I mean, I don't have to worry about it now because I'm only having, shooting my scenes with my husband, but I wouldn't shoot with anybody if they weren't tested, if it was outside of this again.
Yeah, you got to be tested for STD and COVID now. I mean, you gotta stick a lot of stuff around to get tested these days.
Yeah.
Nadia,
they're tested for COVID before you.
It's great to meet you on Zoom. We'll have this conversation posted online. I'll link to your OnlyFans and your social platforms as well. Nadia Hilton, great to meet you. Would you pay for my OnlyFans for a month?
Oh, of course.
Liar.
You know what? I might be a feet girl. You never know.
Guess I need a pedicure. Nadia, great to talk to you. We'll talk soon.
Good to talk to you too.